Hello, baby. Mondu. Pound of ground turkey. Best. Soy sauce. Toasted sesame oil. Garlic. Ginger. Scallions. You can either use bok choy like I'm using, just the leaves pretty much. I'm going to chop up real fine, or you could use Napa cabbage and bean sprouts. And what I'm going to do first is season the meat. And what I'm going to do is, again, it's to your own taste. I don't measure. So that's pretty much the ginger that I use.
And that's grated, not pickled, right?
That is pickled ginger, grated ginger. Well, whatever. It's just organic grated ginger.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to make it real fine because it's grated. Sometimes you can find it chopped ginger, but this wasn't. I didn't have it. So I'll make it really super fine. And you can probably go and do something else while I'm doing this. It's going to take forever. So there's the ginger. Actually, I think that's enough. Then garlic.
How much would you say that is?
That's probably about a couple tablespoons, I guess. Garlic. And then we're gonna add soy sauce. And I just like to add enough to, you don't want it swimming, but flavorful. And toasted sesame. Again, it's probably a couple tablespoons. And I'm just going to mix all that up together. And it should absorb it pretty much. Already smells wonderful. Can you smell it? Yes, wonderful. Already smells like Mondu.
Yes, it does.
And the reason I do this, as opposed to putting everything in all at once, it's much easier to incorporate it into the meat like this. And then, again, all I'm going to do with this, and you don't need to watch, I'm just going to, of course, cut the ends off here. You can see the ends we don't want. And usually the tips are not good either.
That smells so good.
And then that's pretty much what I'm going to use for that. And what you don't need to watch is me chopping these up, so you can pause if you like. I'm just going to finely chop everything.
Okay, pausing. All right, we're on.
So everything just really, really fine, so it gets incorporated really well. The smaller the bits, the better. Well, not necessarily. I mean, if you like big chunks and stuff, that's fine too. Nothing wrong with that. Some people like that as well. So that goes in. And then the rest, exactly the same. Well, this stuff can go in. Can go in. And that. And then the same thing, everything gets cut finely.
And bok choy is extremely high in nutrition and very mild flavor, which you probably know.
But you can use spinach in there as well. Yeah, spinach is wonderful in this dish. You could use anything.
Napa cabbage.
Whatever you want to do. You could also make it spicy if you want to add some peppers in. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. You can put anything you want in it, really.
Put shredded carrots in there.
I wouldn't put carrots in there, no.
You might not put shredded carrots in there?
I would not put carrots in there. That's a no-no.
Why? Why would you not put carrots in? Flavor?
Because the carrots will remain very crunchy, but if you like that, I like it the way...
Softer?
Softer.
All right.
Notice the technique of holding the knife correctly. Notice that. Pay attention to that. Not like this.
No.
But like this. With one finger on the other side. And this way. And that way you get a lot of control.
No extra charge for that lesson.
If you're going to do it like the pros. That should be all right. Then that goes in. And it should be very easy to incorporate now. And it's amazing how all that stuff disappears. It looked like you hardly put anything in, even though it was a lot. And there, you have wonderful Mondu mix.
I smell it. It's wonderful.
Now I'm going to put that in the refrigerator for a little while until later on when we're going to do it in about an hour. And we'll see you then.
Okay, continuing on, I just wanted to show you some of the ingredients that we'll be using when Dad sets up his station to make the mandus. He's going to use these wonton wrappers, and these are, oh well, if you can see, they're not as big as the package. There's two packs of them, and then you're going to need all-purpose flour, preferably organic, because quite a bit of that is going to go into the cooking. Then my setup starts with a high heat, you can see right there, a high heat organic oil. Sunflower is usually the best. If you can't find it, safflower would be good. Then you need to go ahead and set up your brand new wok. You're going to need a colander right next to it with some paper towel lining. I've got about double or triple in there. Tongs, which you're going to use both to turn over your cooking mandu, or you can use a paddle to turn them over, but you're still going to need the tongs to actually pull them out. And then from there, once they've drained a little bit, they're going to go onto a cookie sheet. They don't need to stay warm. They just need to go onto another plate or a cookie sheet or somewhere so that as you're cooking, they have a place to accumulate. And then when we come back, I will show you Dad's station and how he assembles the Mondu, and then what I do to get the oil started, what heat, and get that going.
Here we have the wontons, the mixture, a little water, and some flour. And it's pretty simple from there.
And then there's the plate where the finished ones will go.
I know you're never going to do this because it's so time consuming, but anyway, it's fun. So, just put a little mixture in there, wet the edges, and then here we go. And there you go. And just a little bit of flour because they won't stick together because I'm going to lean them on each other. And if they open up, that's fine. You can close them again.
One more.
Again, the amount that you put in, it's up to you. Doesn't really matter. Just a little bit. Make it easy. Run the water around. Or certainly you can make them fancier if you want. Me, I like doing them quickly. And that's it. There you go.
So Dad always puts on some movie, whether it's James Bond, in this case it's Our Man Flint, so that he can not be completely bored while he's at his workstation. Okay, so back in the kitchen, while Dad is preparing the dumplings, we've got to get the wok and the oil heated up. So I'm going to pour the sunflower oil into a cold wok. I want this to do more than coat the bottom. You need it to be about 1.5 to 2 inches high because you want your dumplings to submerge. And that looks pretty good. Okay, you put that aside. Then you want to turn the heat up to medium high. So you see there's high, and I'm right at about 6.5. Might even need to go higher. Now I did this on the single burner because it's a wok which has a narrower bottom than the rest of the pan. Okay, and I will come back. It's probably going to take at least 5, maybe a little bit longer, 5 minutes or more to heat up. And I'm going to put my paddle down because I don't need that yet. I'm going to move the strainer back because the plate that's going to have, ooh, it's filthy there. The plate that's going to have the dumplings, I'm going to put right next to the wok. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so Dad is still working. I brought him a clean plate, and these are the first dumplings we've got ready to go in. The oil, not sure if you can really tell. It doesn't need to be bubbling or boiling, but it's hot. And we always just want to kind of test it. So I'm going to take one, oh, see how it's opened up already? So I'll just squeeze them shut. Take one dumpling and very gently put that in there. Okay, the oil is, let me move that up there. I would say it's hot enough. Probably could be a little bit hotter, but these will definitely cook. I'm going to get another one. Put that in there right next to it. Another one. Whoops. Okay. Put that next to it there. Start the end here. You don't need quite as much flour because it ends up turning black in the oil. And again, if the ends open up, just very gently squeeze them. This one's going in here at the end. So we're just going to start with these 4. And obviously the hotter the oil, the quicker they'll cook. But you want to wait until they've got a nice golden brown crust on them. If they get darker, honestly, if it looks like you feel they're too dark or they're burned, don't throw them away. They're going to taste even better. Crunchy edges, crunchy wonton is really, really delicious with this. Okay, I'm just checking again, not really brown enough. So I'm going to turn the heat up a little smidgen more. And while those are cooking, I'm going to move the plate over here for a second. Bring my colander with the paper towel back to drain these guys. You can hear them going. Check the one in front. Sometimes the heat in this thing is so weird. No. Yeah, obviously that was the last one I put in. First one, okay, I'm going to go ahead and give it that. See a little bit of brown on it? Yep, the second one's got about the same thing. Third one, looking good. And the 4th one, whoops, I tore it open, but it still looks good. And most everything will stay inside. I'm just kind of shaking the wok a little bit now, just to separate them. And say in not long, they should be ready to be drained. Nope, not brown yet. Yeah, see that? Give it a little bit more, especially now that I turn the heat up. Ooh, smells good. Okay, check it again. Yep, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Ooh, it's getting loud. That's the heat coming up. And that looks pretty good. So now, I'm going to take them, hold it up for a second or two. You can even bang it gently against the side of the wok. And I try to stand them up in the colander to drain a little bit. And again, I'm tapping this on the side. And the colander. You see that one? That's the perfect color right there. And that's it. Then I just go back to these. Oh, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to move this for a second. And then really the final step, because you need to keep emptying your colander, because you're going to need this for the next ones. Let's go ahead and put them on your cookie tray or a plate, whatever you have. Of course, these are going to go straight to Dad in a minute as soon as they cool off, because he gets hungry making these and always asks me to bring him a plate or 2 or 3 or 4. Okay, I'm going to move the colander back because I'm bringing the wontons back to the wok, and that's it. I may come back just to show you some troubleshooting if the oil starts to turn too dark or these start to get too dark. Just a quick note, once the paper towel obviously gets saturated with oil, I left the original one in, but just to make it thicker again, I put a fresh new one for the next batch. Okay, so this is the last batch cooking. This is the batch before draining. This is what we've got so far that Dad and I haven't eaten yet. And the only thing I want to mention is when you're done and you turn off the wok, let that oil come to room temperature or even cold before you discard it. And what you're going to want to do is pour it down the disposal with cold water, not hot water, cold water, while the disposal is on. And just pour it very, very slowly in. And that way it won't wreck your disposal. And then that's it. And then bon appetit. Enjoy.